Did you know the government incentivizes companies to hire robots instead of people? And not through some secret program either, but through taxes. And so far, nobody in Washington has done anything about it. Most of the talk around AI job displacement focuses on the technology and whether the software is good enough to do your job. And rightfully so, that's a huge part of it. But there's something else going on that hardly anyone mentions, and it has nothing to do with how smart AI is. It has everything to do with money, specifically what it costs companies to hire someone versus when they buy software. It's not a wash, not even close. Here's the math. When a company hires you, salary is just a starting point. On top of what they pay you, they owe the government money, Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, unemployment insurance, workers' comp. That's just at the federal level before state taxes pile on, and all of that is before any other benefit contribution. When you add it all up, for every dollar of salary a company pays, they're spending another 42 cents on top of it. That 42 cents is the cost of employing a human. And by the way, you are also getting hit with what comes out of your paycheck, which we've somehow come to accept as okay. But here's where it gets a lot worse for American workers. When top economists measured the total tax burden of hiring someone versus buying software to do the same job, they found that the gap was massive. It costs companies about 6 times more in taxes to employ you than to replace you with AI. 6 times, not a little more, 6 times. Now, companies have been able to write off software purchases for years. That's not new. And make no mistake, I am not against tax breaks. Lower taxes are a good thing. The problem is who gets them and why. Last July, Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and made it permanently cheaper to buy software. That's great, but they didn't do a single thing to make it cheaper to hire you. They could have given a tax break for employing people, but they didn't. For 40 years, the cost of hiring employees has only gone up. More taxes, more insurance, more rules. Meanwhile, the cost of buying software to replace someone has only gone down. In the 1990s, taxes on equipment and software were around 15%. Now, they're about 5%. That's 2/3 less. Nobody is cutting the cost of employing people by 2/3. I promise you that. The gap has been widening from both sides. But for most of that time, it didn't really matter. You could write off a forklift, of course, but a forklift can't answer customer emails, it can't write marketing copy, and it can't analyze a contract. AI has changed all of that. The same tax advantage that used to apply to factory equipment now applies to tools that can do your job. And when the effective tax rate is 6 times more to employ you than to replace you, even AI that's only 70 or 80% as good starts to look like a bargain. The cost gap is so wide that good enough becomes good enough. And it's only getting better. Last week, 3 economists from MIT published a paper calling for exactly what you'd expect: to level the playing field, not by raising taxes on software, but by lowering the cost of hiring people. It's a case they've been making for years. The research shows that by closing the gap, it would increase employment by about 4%. That's millions of jobs, and not from some new program, just by making the incentives equal. It's a great idea, but I don't think it's going to happen, at least not anytime soon. Washington had a chance to do it 7 months ago, but instead they made software cheaper and left employees exactly where they already were. So what do you do with all this? First, it's necessary to understand that AI job displacement isn't just a technology story. It's very much a money story. The cost of hiring you keeps going up, and the cost of replacing you keeps going down. That's the math behind every restructuring announcement you're seeing. So it's on you to take responsibility into your own hands. Pay attention to how you can use AI to elevate your own work. Make yourself the person no spreadsheet can justify replacing. The one whose judgment, relationships, and ability to handle what AI can't make you worth it, despite pretty much everything else working against you. If you want to understand what's really happening to jobs and not just the headlines, subscribe.